he'll explain what he's about.
So, thank you, Peter. Thank you, Bob. And thank all of you for being here tonight. This is great to see. My name is Ray Roberts, and I'm a teacher. So, I need to let you know, in a couple of minutes, there's going to be a quiz. And I also need to start by asking for a safe space. So, are you okay with that?
Yeah. Sure.
That's good, because if you said no, this would be a lot shorter. I'm going to take a chance tonight and tell you something personal that, honestly, I feel terrified to share. 3 years ago, I started suffering clinical depression. Governor Corbett's budget meant that my job as a math specialist had lost funding. I was displaced and returned to classroom teaching, and that was great. But with middle school students, which was not. I had 15 years of teaching high school experience, and I had only had student teaching with middle school students, and just student teaching was enough for me to know that it wasn't for me. Halfway through that year, I sprained my ankle very badly, and I was forced into immobility for a week. And so during that time, it had been on my queue for a while, so I watched Ken Burns' documentary about our national parks. And I cried for hours because many of the parks I recognized and loved. Hiking through Arches and hiking through Grand Gulch had helped me heal after my mom had died. And hiking the Grand Canyon has helped me learn how strong I can be. I knew climate change was responsible for forest fires that were raging through many of them. And I also cried for glacier and sequoia because I've not seen those yet, and I'm afraid that I and my daughters will never get to see them intact. So later, after I returned to my classroom, I found myself having flashes where I would occasionally, I'd look up at my students and I'd see them as corpses. I was imagining futures where we pass a climate tipping point, and then that causes other climate tipping points to fall, like dominoes. And I was seeing where my students wouldn't have a future worth learning for. I've never experienced visions like that before. And my imagination was running away with me, so I just buried my feelings. And just over 2 years ago, I joined 40,000 people at the Climate March in DC. But I left feeling more hopeless and afraid that it just wasn't enough. A year and a half ago, I began having breakdowns. The students I was teaching were not much older than both my daughters. And I felt hopeless and helpless and trapped. And I had to make a change. And that change has led me to be here tonight. Sharing this with you is very much outside my comfort zone. But I need you to know a little bit about why I'm here tonight. And now for the quiz. I wasn't kidding. So here's the quiz. It's one question. I need you to take up 30 seconds and really think deeply and be honest with yourself. Why are you here? It's wait time. So please turn to your neighbor and introduce yourself. Peter told me that I had 4 minutes. He didn't say how long.
What? I'm Joey. Oh, I'm Gabe. Gabe, nice to meet you. Marlon. Are you filming? Yes, I am. Nice. Is that why are you here?
Well, I'm here. I help.
Okay.
I'm participating.
Now that you've introduced yourselves, we agreed this is a safe space. So I'm going to give you a challenge by choice. You can choose not to answer. If you're not comfortable doing so, just say pass. And while you're listening, listen generously and don't interrupt. So turn to your neighbor and answer the question. Why are you here tonight?
So I'm here. So I found out about this from Wanda Guthrie, and I'm working with her on the divestment campaign to get the city of Pittsburgh to divest. So that's how I found out about it. I think why one of the emotionally what's pulling me towards any of this sort of thing is that I think there are, the need to confront corporate power and the way that this kind of damage coming from the abuse of corporate power and elite power is in many ways irreversible. And it's unlike a lot of previous problems might not get better for future generations. You know? I mean, it's hard to separate these things and say, like, oh, this is the most important issue or something, right? You know, yeah, that's what sort of draws me to it. Tell me about how did you get involved with this?
I was invited by Peter Ray, president of the Sierra Club Allegheny Group, but I've seen quite a few different things in my life, done from a variety of perspectives, from first-hand sight of situations that, in my opinion, have been compromising our environment for years, be it the coal mining, the mountaintop mining, the coal slurry pits that remain that are lakes, the abuse of our state forests and national parks, and just overall environment with respect to the development of natural gas, which could be done smarter and much better, but it's exempt from clean air and clean water, which makes it absurd. And being numbers and knowing numbers, I know what our emissions are, and I understand that it's been overdue for us to take some immediate and serious action.
All right. So, thank you. If we'd had more time, I'd let that go longer, but about 6 months ago, like many of you, I went to the People's Climate March, and the slogan for that event was to change everything, we need everyone. And it almost borders on cliche, but Gandhi's direction was to be the change that you wish to see in the world. And if recycling and facts, or collectivism, and science, or driving a hybrid was enough to save our climate, we'd already won. But thinking about personal change, I need to share this with you. I believe that I can have a major impact on the fate of our planet if I work tirelessly toward climate solutions, think big, and act fearlessly. I believe that bold actions by a few brave people can change the course of history and stabilize the Earth's climate. I believe I'm one of those people. Doing this will not be easy or comfortable, but it's definitely possible. And since it's possible, I must try, and I will not give up. Those are words by Jay Butera that he looks at each morning in the mirror, words he shared with me and I'm sharing with you now. Some awesome things are we have solutions that can work, and you're not alone in this. People's Climate March was 400,000 strong. We've gone from 40,000 to 400,000, so we know we're not alone in this. And Pittsburgh350 is about all of us coming together to help change everything. So take a look around you. If we are truly going to change everything, we need to get out of our comfort zone. And we need to talk with people who don't agree with us. We need to recruit people who don't look the same as we do. We need people who go to a different church than us. And we need to stand beside people of different incomes. So here's another challenge by choice. Take out your phones.
Soon we all have one.
Find 3 contacts of people who aren't the same as you politically, or racially, or the same faith or income. And tell them you're at Pittsburgh350 and ask them if they know what 350 ppm means. Do it when you get home, okay? But take some action tonight. Get out of your comfort zone and try reaching out to people who you're not necessarily on the same page with right now. Solutions to this problem exist, and if you want to learn about Citizens Climate Lobby and our fee and dividend, stop by and we'll talk with you. And now we've got some people who are going to tell you about some solutions and find the one that resonates for you. Because if you're going to change everything, we need everyone. So.